Hey everybody, welcome to another mortgage coach training. This is for branch managers. I'm really going to focus on why mortgage coach should be a top priority in 2015 and more importantly, January and February. Going to make a case for why you should be making mortgage coach a priority. Again, my name is Dave Savage. I'm absolutely dedicated to every loan officer's personal and professional success. To help me with today's training, I have brought in Tom. Tom, welcome to the call and good to be doing another coaching call with you. I think it's been a couple months since I last had you on here.
Yeah, it has been.
Good. So you're a great mortgage coach leader, and you have just got amazing adoption of mortgage coach within your branch with Fairway. If you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody a little bit about your branch, a little bit about your practice, and all the other things that you're doing in the industry.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the time to share with you today. I started using Mortgage Coach within probably 3 months of getting in the industry in 2003. So I've been a long time subscriber and have tracked with all the changes of it. And it's probably one of the key differences it's made in my career from starting out. But my first, up through 2009 and 10, I really focused on my personal production. And 2011, I got into I hate the word, but I can't think of a better one, a non-producing manager role with Fairway. And that was when the LO comp rules changed and just, said, hey, do I want to keep focused on my production or do I want to build a system and create an environment where I can help a whole team of people succeed? And so that's really what we focused on in Charlotte here is helping a team grow. And we've tripled since then in size. And so we've got a large branch that today I've got 24 originators. And Mortgage Coach is kind of one of our key ways of communicating with clients to help them see the value and the difference in what we offer.
Fantastic. And what kind of production are you doing just to get a feel for the kind of volume your branch is doing?
Yeah, so we're going to finish up this year. We just went over 800 loans for the year today. So we're going to finish up the year somewhere north of 800 loans for the year at about 170 million. So average loan amount a little over 200,000 here in the Charlotte marketplace.
So, a fantastic branch. And then I know you're mentoring and coaching a lot of other branch managers. If you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I started kind of an outside venture this year that's currently just working with Fairway managers, but I've had the opportunity to have 45 managers from the Fairway system come into Charlotte, and we created a two-day workshop called Top Gun Results, where we just talk about the systems to manage a branch and to lead a sales force and to lead an operational team and the market and all those things we've done to grow from one person in 2007 to 45 people today. That is a really nice running machine. So that's been a really cool opportunity for us just to share with some great people at in the company and learn from them and share what we've worked and what hasn't worked to help other people get better.
Well, appreciate you bringing in your leadership on this call and other calls that you've done. For all your mortgage coach leaders out there, I recommend you connect with Tom on LinkedIn. Just a great values-based leader and a great mortgage coach leader. So let's have a conversation and drive how everybody can just close more business and have even a greater competitive advantage as we roll into 2015. My goal at Mortgage Coach is to attract the best operators into our network of loan officers and to help you guys be more successful. So what I think is unique around 2015, and Tom, feel free to jump in anytime to add value or color, is that there's a big change happening on August 15th. And the new integrated disclosures, I've been to the MBA events, and when I talk to operational leaders and sales leaders, everybody pretty much agrees that there's nothing that has touched this much of workflow and process that we've had changes. It's a big deal. And so what I want everybody to think about is when do you want to start rolling that out to your sales force? When you look at the months preceding August 1st, it's the home buying season. And depending on what market you're in, it can be 60% of your overall purchase production. It can be over 70%. So, there's a big opportunity in what can we get done in January and February in order to ready our sales force. And what can you do to ready your sales force so that they have a competitive advantage once the new disclosures come? So some of the challenges are just, the timelines are different. So your scripting and your expectation management is going to matter more than ever. Consistency is going to matter more than ever. Everybody's got to be following the same process and systems. Rates and, fee quoting needs to be more accurate. And then from a mortgage coach perspective, this is where the opportunity starts to roll in. For over 15 years, we have been evangelizing that every home buyer deserves to know what the total cost of the loan is. And the CFPB is saying, well, that's part of the requirements. So this is a big opportunity. So from a mortgage coach perspective, improving efficient accuracy and total cost selling is a big initiative. Hey, Tom, anything you want to add to that before we get into the meat of the call?
No, I just think it's really cool for mortgage coach users. If everybody's going to say, hey, here's the total cost over 5 years, and they don't even know what that means, what a great opportunity to differentiate yourself in the marketplace to go, well, here's what total cost really means to you, and be able to use an edge presentation and provide, you've been talking about for years, the wow factor, where someone says, wow, it's not just a black and white number on a page, but you got some pop here, and I can really understand how this fits into my life. And so what a great opportunity to start being an expert if you haven't been yet.
Yeah, no doubt. So for any of you managers that are on the call and you haven't seen the new GFE, or you're not entirely familiar with what we're talking about, we're going to try to educate you on it, and then we're going to try to drive some action steps to get everybody ready, mortgage coach leaders ready by the end of February to have a competitive advantage. So, this is what everybody's getting today, and that's changing to a 3-page document. And I'm not going to get into the details. I've done calls with Mitch Kiter. We've done other educational calls around, call it the big picture, all of the changes. In this call, I really want to just focus on this part, the fact that the CFPB is going to require in the new GFE that every loan is quoted on the cost over 5 years. And there's also TIP, which will be added to Mortgage Coach. But the point that I want to make here is that as we roll into the new year, I think everybody's top priorities needs to be focused on the borrower experience. This is going to be the year where borrower experience is king, and this is going to be the year where everybody has more changes in your workflow than ever before. And there's going to be some lenders that really do this well and turn it into a competitive advantage, and there's going to be some platforms that don't. Here at Mortgage Coach, we want to help you do it well. And part of those priorities are just this concept of total cost education. And a lot of companies are doing a lot of preparation on the back end. What do we do once we get to GFE and we start doing disclosures? But very few are saying, hey, what are we doing on the point of sale? How are we readying our sales force to have this conversation so they're delivering education? And let's remember, we're salespeople. Mortgage loan officers are salespeople. So it's got to go from borrower experience to total cost education to total cost selling. And remember, this is going to happen sooner than you think. And again, the business case I want to make right now is let's not wait until home buying season to get started. Let's learn how to total cost sell right now in January. Tom, anything else you want to add before I kind of roll through the Mortgage Coach value prop just to get everybody aligned, and then you and I will make it actionable? But anything you want to add at this point?
Yeah, I think it's real important just to point out that, it doesn't seem totally related to Mortgage Coach, but I think it absolutely is that, the new closing disclosure and the documents getting to the attorney's office 3 days ahead of time and stuff like that is a huge deal operationally. It's got all the operators scared to death. But the biggest part of that is that the consumers, if they drag their feet getting you their disclosures, you can't get their package out early. So if they're delaying getting their stuff, so what I look at is people listen to experts. So if you use Mortgage Coach to position yourself as an expert, it's going to flow a lot easier when you say, oh, by the way, I also need this paperwork back from you by 4 o'clock today, or your loan's not going to happen. They're going to listen to you because you're not just a loan officer, but you're a professional expert that's guiding them through this complex transaction. And so, positioning yourself as an expert is more important than ever, because it's going to help out your operators to get that stuff done in time.
Yeah, no doubt. The more committed a borrower is, the smoother the transaction, and the better you take care of it on the front end, the smoother the transaction and the happier the customer. So right now, when you look at how most loan officers are delivering fees, it's a fee worksheet. And again, these fee worksheets are going to evolve. All the LOSs are going to be, they're going to be compliant. The opportunity with Mortgage Coach is that you can really deliver a richer experience, so that payments are graphical and that there is a mobile experience where the borrower clicks disclaim. There's a summary of information. We're breaking down monthly payments and graphs and charts. And then most importantly, short-term savings. What's the cost over 60 months? So that's, whether you're doing an FHA versus conventional, whether you're showing PMI options, Mortgage Coach is really helping you net that out for your clients. And we're doing it in a way that, educates them, and we're doing it in a way that is a sales advantage. So again, whether it's a, Android, iPhone, whether it's an iPad, whether they click it on a desktop, if the borrower clicks us on a desktop, they get that disclaimer. So they have the disclosure. Again, they can net out their monthly options. They can look at their closing costs and do that in a multi-channel way. And again, this is what we've been doing forever, showing the total cost over 60 months. So when you just net out from a borrower standpoint, it's taking the way that you're doing things today, and it's doing it in a better educational experience, and it's doing it in a way that we call total cost selling. Again, that and total cost selling is not a term that we've invented, because this is coming to market. This is something I've got white papers dating back to the 90s, around total cost selling. This is something we've been doing for a long time. So let's start turning this into something actionable. But mastering total cost selling in January will be a competitive advantage for every branch manager that turns this idea into action. And at Mortgage Coach, we're all about helping our customers have an advantage, be able to run faster, be able to convert more loans, and then get more referrals from realtors. So really driving that educational experience and what we call going from price to advice. So Tom, I'm going to do one more walkthrough just for anybody who's not completely familiar with how we integrate with the realtor conversation. But before I do that, anything you want to add?
I think, it's interesting when people call up a lot of times for a loan, they just think it's pretty simple. They just go, come on, dude, I just need to get a mortgage. I just need a loan. And if all you're doing is filling out paperwork like you're showing on the left there, you're making it real simple. And the thing that's really cool about Mortgage Coach is that you can give somebody, say, hey, you know what, this is actually a really complex decision you're trying to make, and you really need some guidance on this. And they start seeing the difference that, do I pay PMI, or do I get a second mortgage when I'm putting 10% down, or do I do a 20-year versus a 30-year loan? When they start seeing the solutions that you offer, you totally educate yourself, elevate yourself as an educator, as an expert in it, and you're going to get that credibility. And again, compare it to that loan officer on a tricycle who's saying, well, here's your tip, and I'm not really sure what this expression means yet because it's new on the form, versus someone who's using, a graphic presentation on the impact of a loan choice for the homeowner. So it's really cool how the market's coming. I think it's coming to you, Dave, as a mortgage coach.
Yeah, well, my biggest challenge, over the years with Mortgage Coach has always been adoption, and the concept that, hey, I don't need to, provide this education. I can just quote a rate and rent a loan, and that is changing. I mean, as of the new disclosures, you are going to need to provide some education. You're going to have tip, you're going to have cost over time, and you're going to need to be able to show the options, whether it's a PMI analysis, an FHA, a points. You're going to have to be able to show all that stuff, and you're going to have to drive an educational experience. And so, to your point, yeah, that just plays right into our sweet spot, because we're an educational company. So
yeah, on August 15th, do you want to be the loan officer that's confused as you're going through the forms and you're trying to laugh off the fact that you don't even know what you're looking at here, or do you want to be the guy who's still got the same level of confidence you had from last January that says, oh yeah, this is how we roll. The forms are different today, but the answer for you is still the same. And so start building your confidence now. Don't put yourself at August 15th where you look like a first day in the industry.
Well, the other point I make is for all you branch managers that say this makes sense, just imagine if you literally got your sales force ready in January and February and they were just crushing it through the home buying season, and at least part of the preparation is already done. So it's not just being prepared. It's most branch managers have always looked at Mortgage Coach and goes, guys, if I had a magic wand, all my loan officers would use this and do this because they close more loans. Well, now you've got another reason for them to do it. So folks, let's make sure you know how to deliver it in case you're new to the Mortgage Coach. You deliver the link with an email, and that link, if the borrower clicks on it from a mobile device, with your logo, your picture, they get a mobile experience. The other thing that's really valuable is that it integrates with the realtor. So if it's a referral from a realtor, the realtor is CC'd on this. You've trained and educated your realtor around how you're delivering better value And now the realtor, again, and they do love mobile. They are on mobile. They're clicking on these links, and you're just a more efficient, more effective loan officer to work with. And you got to remember, your advice is now being shared. So, every borrower has a loan officer. Every borrower has a friend or family member. If they're buying a home, they have a realtor. And depending on how they manage money, they have advisors. And let's face it, everybody who's buying a home or refinancing, they're surrounded with people that are influencing that decision. Well, right now, if you're not delivering with a mortgage coach link, you're leaving it to the borrower to have that educational, call it total cost selling conversation. If you send it with a mortgage coach, everybody's in the loop. So again, it's not just good for compliance, it's good for efficiency. So kind of
Dave,
netting
if I
this
could
out.
interrupt there,
Perfect. Go for it.
I can interrupt there real quick. I'm looking at that list there, and I love it because I've had my mortgage coach videos sent to everybody on that group, and I've done loans for them as a result. That I've gotten to do the Genius Father-in-Law loan, who's one of my favorite guys, because he realized some crazy plan that his daughter was trying to get talked into by some wacky loan officer until he saw the video, and he goes, "Oh, wait a second, that makes perfect sense." And it elevates you, and like, well, this guy might know more than I do, and maybe I ought to do my loan with him as well. And I've done that guy's loan.
Yeah, well, the genius father-in-law and the genius buddy at work, that's, the real estate investor that knows more than every loan officer out there. Those are the two tough customers, but good point. So folks, we just want you to stop this and start educating all of your loan officers and driving this, let's call it the mortgage coach habit, and get them to start doing this, because if they do this, they're going to get better results. They're going to close more loans. So Tom, I've got a few more things from a mortgage coach standpoint to walk through, but I wanted to bring you in, one, because you walk the talk. You are a mortgage coach branch manager, and my goal with creating this is to get more of our branch managers to where you're at with mortgage coach. So why don't you share from your perspective, what are some of the best practices that you've implemented so that you get better adoption, and then the 45 other branch managers that you're mentoring, what are you telling them from a mortgage coach perspective to get prepared so they can really deliver a better solution?
Well, the biggest thing is you just hit the slide there for me, is to start using it. And what we've done most effectively is just accountability on it. We've done it probably 2 years in a row now. We'll do it again this spring, because as I'm talking to you here now and looking at January, what a great time to do it. But we just do a boot camp phase where we go, all right, here's a scenario. I need everybody to put together a mortgage coach, a mortgage coach presentation on this scenario. How would you solve this borrower's problem, just a fictitious borrower's problem? Put together the video, and we create a private Facebook group for the loan officers in the branch, and everybody puts their videos up on the Facebook group, and which we just use that because it works out really well, just to comment on them and watch other people's videos and learn from each other's scriptings. Because I don't know about you, but I've never met anybody who does a video of themselves and go, wow, I really like the way I sound, and I just look so good on the camera. Nobody says that. So you just got to plow through it. So you do 3 or 4 of them in a supportive environment. You laugh at each other, and then you realize, like, this isn't so hard. It just becomes a way I do business. And I spend a few more minutes up front, and my conversion can double by presenting something different and being an expert when I'm talking to people.
Well, I love that idea, by the way, because one of our, whenever we're training, we're always saying, hey, get success stories and share them. So when a loan officer gets a realtor that gives feedback, or a borrower, let's share it. But you're saying you guys are using a private Facebook page. You're sharing actual samples of videos, giving feedback. I assume, are you doing anything in terms of success story sharing?
Yeah, we throw this up there. Well, what I did is I just created a group, and I invited all my loan officers to it. And then Monday morning, I email out the scenario saying, hey, I make X number of dollars a year. I've got $30,000 to put down on a $300,000 purchase, and I think I'm going to live in this house for 7 years. Go. And so I'm looking for some creativity. I'm looking for some solutions, and I want them to come back with, send me your mortgage coach report. And then they upload it up to Facebook, and so now it links really well, and people can click on it and play it from right there. And the other loan officers can watch the video, they hear the other scripting, and they can comment on it as well. So that's really been good for people to get feedback from the other loan officers, like, wow, I thought it was terrible, but it turns out everybody said it was great, so maybe it is good. And it's been a pretty cool way for us to do it in a non-threatening environment. You just got to make it a habit. Once you do it, maybe it's 5, 10, maybe it's 20 for some people, but once you get those presentations, out there, you'll start doing it on a regular basis.
Well, I love it. I love the way you're using technology to train, create accountability, and sharing and feedback. A good partner of ours is Ken Perry of the Knowledge Coop, and I know a lot of our clients that are mutual customers are using the Knowledge Coop or other learning management solutions to share it. But I love this. I mean, hey, branch managers, whether your company has a knowledge learning management system, here's a simple and easy way for you to share strategies and to get your team collaborating. So a couple other things I want everybody to think about is just how are we going to improve efficient accuracy? And I'm going to show what we've done with Optimal Blue. If you are an Optimal Blue manager, reach out to me, just Dave at Mortgage Coach, and we'll see about getting you lit up with this. But whether you're using Optimal Blue or not, we can do this kind of integration with everything. I mean, we've got a lot of lenders that have built this into their LOSs, into their CRMs, into their own proprietary systems. And this is just an example of what it looks like in Optimal Blue. But we've got to think integration. We've got to think, how do we make it easier for our loan officers to go from pricing a loan? This is my client criteria. I need pricing. And then we need to be able to say, okay, let's take that pricing. Again, if it's Optimal Blue, there's a Mortgage Coach tab. Click a few buttons, and now go from pricing a loan to delivering advice. And again, delivering advice that's going to be compliant by tomorrow's standards. And then again, making that easy to share so that the genius father-in-law and everybody surrounding the home buyer think of the home buyer experience, they're in the loop. So I mean, there's no doubt that 2015 is the year to go from price to advice. I mean, you have to. The fact that TIP, the fact that total cost selling is a piece, the borrower experience is going to be a requirement, that it's a more educational experience. I think the question is, different platforms, different branches will be executing at a level that is just meeting minimum requirements. And some people are going to be doing it in a way that really gives them a competitive advantage. So for all you branch managers, that your Mortgage Coach leaders, first and foremost, make sure all your loan officers have downloaded the Rate Watch app. It's important to have it downloaded for a couple of reasons. One, it's really easy. It's an app download. And once it's downloaded, there's no learning how to use it. It just gives value. It makes what's happening in the market incredibly visual and valuable, and it helps drive meetings. So if you want to get your loan officers to create that Mortgage Coach habit, make sure you download that. Number two, the coaching call that I did a few weeks back with Josh Metal, again, top loan professional, team leader, doing 40 units a month. I think what makes this call particularly valuable is the fact that he did it in a teachable way, and we didn't just do it. Hey, this is data entry of how to create a Mortgage Coach report. We did it from, what are the scripts? What do you say to the borrower before you give the educational experience? What do you say to the realtor so that they appreciate the fact that you gave an educational experience to the borrower? How do you teach and train your realtors to see the way you deliver advice being valuable? So there was at least 5 or 6 scripts, and it was very teachable. So if you have not watched this call, it's a training all on its own. So Tom, you've kind of shared some ideas. What are some other action items for all the branch leaders that report to you, and some things that you have on your hit list for the coming weeks?
Yeah, just talking to managers. One thing, obviously, leading by example. So if you're the guy that's signed up for Mortgage Coach and not using it, your loan officers aren't going to use it until you start doing it and start talking about it and make it part of your culture and how you're doing. And then for me, I even use it as part of my recruiting thing, because if you're showing you're showing a loan cost estimate with here's what your tip is, or here's what your interest is in 5 years, and the other guy's got a video with a mobile presentation. From a recruiting standpoint, you're going to have loan officers at other companies going, man, I want to have that. I want to be able to present that way. You're going to attract professionals. So from a manager, it's a really cool tool. And I got a story of one of my top loan officers. We were both. He was talking to the husband. I was talking to the wife, and we didn't know that there was another lender in play for this loan. And I ended up sending a Mortgage Coach video to the wife. She shared it with her husband, and he sent an estimate to the husband, who didn't bother sharing with his wife because it was just black and white paper. And I ended up doing that loan 6 months later, that loan officer actually was working for me because he had never lost a loan to anybody before. It totally blew his mind that he actually lost a loan, and he didn't even know he was in a competition. So mortgage coach from a branch manager's perspective, will help you grow your team as well. If you're in that recruiting mode and you're trying to get people, it's what a huge differentiator that, not only are we ready for the changes in August coming up, but we're already talking today in a way that is educational for our clients, and it makes us stand apart when we talk to borrowers.
Love it. Well, you're a great mortgage coach leader. I also want to throw out there to any branch manager that you want us to do some training, do a go-to meeting, or we'll schedule some training for your branches. Send an email to success@mortgagecoach.com. And we are happy to, not just happy, we are motivated to bring training, to bring sales training to your loan officers so that, early in the year as possible, they have a competitive advantage so that by the time the new integrated disclosures come out, it is a competitive advantage for you. It's a conversation that your loan officers are confident about having, and they're having it in a way that's driving more business. So again, if you are using Optimal Blue and you're a mortgage coach client, reach out to me, ask me about it. Also, you'll notice that if you're not a mortgage coach leader and you're someone in the mortgage coach family shared this with you, click request demo, and we'll be happy to provide you some education around how you can go the next step with mortgage coach. So for all you mortgage coach members, hopefully this was valuable for you as leaders. If you're a loan officer and you saw this, forward it to your manager, forward it to your head of production, and again, give Tom a big thank you. I mean, this was nice of him to take time to come in and bring his value and what he's doing to other branch managers. So say thank you. Let him know you appreciate his leadership. Tom, any final thoughts as we wrap up this training call?
Dave, thanks again for the time to share some ideas with it, and even just watching through the presentation, picking up some stuff. I got a bunch of notes I'm going to share with my team when I get done with this. But I love the mobile app with the Rate Watch. I just started using that recently. Love that. The Josh Metal video, like you said, have people watch that, and then just make it part of your habit. Again, as a branch manager, lead by example. So start using it first, then create some accountability for your team. Start using it as part of your recruiting conversations as well, and be different in 2015 by being an expert, and it's going to make you memorable to the people you're talking to for buying houses.
Beautiful. Well, again, remember everybody, every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I am doing sales training. Think of it as the Mortgage Coach sales meeting. Every Thursday, it's technical training. It's how to use Mortgage Coach technology to sell better. And, all of our entire sales team, they are sales coaches. They're here to help your sales